And welcome to NetFriend Presents, the video version. Here I am, Matthew DeFranks, joined by Nathan Mills of the Post-Dispatch, here to talk about the Blues' first week of the season. Nathan, what did you think of the Blues and their 2-1 start?
Oh man, that opener was rough, wasn't it? I think that was the first time they've ever been shut out at home on opening night, and it did not feel good. It wasn't. It didn't feel like a blowout, right? It felt like they were in it. It just felt like a lot of bounces didn't go their way, and by a lot of bounces, I mean all the bounces. But then they bounced back strong in Calgary. They looked pretty good last night in Vancouver. So I think I feel pretty good about the first three games. How did you feel about the first three games?
Yeah, I think I came away similarly from the opener. I mean, it was just such an emotional letdown, I think, if you were a Blues fan. You get all excited, you have the hype, you have, wondering about the momentum from the season before, and then you come out in an amped home crowd and it's 5-0 shutout. First time they've been shut out in a season opener in franchise history. So like that kind of it didn't go well to say the least. But I think,
Yeah.
when you look at the way that they played in the opening 30 minutes or so, they were down 2-0, but in the second period they had, the first 13 shots of the period, like they were okay. They felt like they were in control of the game. That third goal happens and then it just unravels from there. So
Yep.
I think the final score was less indicative of how the Blues played, and it could have been maybe a 3-1 game. Like they weren't the better team, but they did play better than 5-0. And then, yeah, I mean those two games in Calgary and Vancouver, big bounce backs, just to get W's on the board, but also to get contributions from some depth guys. I mean, Jake Neighbours scoring 2 goals, Jimmy Snuggerud scoring 2 goals, and Jake Neighbours actually had in the third last night in Vancouver in an empty net. So they got contributions from up and down the lineup that I liked from what the Blues were showing. And yeah, I mean they're going to come home and have a nice 4-game homestand to get things going again.
Yeah, and I thought, speaking of Neighbors and Snuggerud, I thought some of the line changes that or the changes to the lines, I guess, that Montgomery made after that first game really helped wake those two guys up specifically and got them going, and that's really helped. It's nice. You expect to see it from the Thomases, the Kairos. Seeing Snuggerud and Neighbors get going and feeling like they are going to replicate some of the success that they had last season, I think feels really good for the future. You know, it's three games, right? So I try not to look too much into everything that's going on, but I think now that you've got this out of the way, you can settle in at home. You can get some of that rapport built back up and ready to rock and roll for the rest of the season. It's a nice place to be, I think.
Yeah, it is funny to think about the way that the two wins maybe changes the psyche of a team, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go on the road and even if you split, you're coming home and it's 1-2. Um, you maybe don't feel as good about your game and where it's at, but you come home 2-1, won 2 road games by 2 goals apiece, or actually 3 goals last night. You protected leads late in the game, which obviously was an issue last year. So there's good things to feel positive about if you're a Blues fan, and I'm sure the Blues feel pretty good themselves. So that's Nathan. I'm Matt. This is Net Friends Presents.